Good morning. My name is Mike Homeowners. I'm a high school teacher at Santa Cruz High School where I teach government and economics, and I will be giving the opposing viewpoints. So first, a couple clarifications. I completely support the taxation of speculative housing or vacant housing. I also support the robust creation of affordable housing, but not at any cost. I oppose the empty homes tax because of the reporting system, the audits, and the civil and criminal penalties. The way this law is structured, it is invasive, punitive, and unnecessary. The empty homes tax requires every homeowner in the city to register their property with a declaration of occupancy status, stating how many days they were home each and every year for the rest of your lives under civil and criminal penalty. Each year, the city can legally require any homeowner in the city to produce up to 3 years of proof of occupancy. What constitutes proof that you live in your own home? We have no idea. The city council will decide that at a later date. The empty homes tax website claims that this law will not affect the majority of residents. As I've just shown you, nothing could be further from the truth. The most onerous part of the empty homes tax are the civil and criminal penalties. Violations of the empty homes tax can result in fines up to $1,000 per infraction per day. 3 violations in 1 year can result in a misdemeanor charge and 6 months in jail alongside fines. If the city takes you to court, the courts can impose a civil penalty up to $2,500 per infraction per day. Not only does this ordinance erode privacy and subject homeowners to civil and criminal penalties, it is also financially daunting. The city's impact report states that the first-year cost for this ordinance would surpass $1 million. Since the city can only recover 15% of the empty homes tax revenue to cover the cost of administration, the tax would need to raise over $6.6 million to not negatively impact the city's budget. There is absolutely no chance of that happening. To make matters worse, there are few exemptions to this law. For the few that exist, if there are multiple people on the title of the property, they must all prove they qualify for the exemptions or they are charged the tax. If you forget to register your home, you will be guilty of an infraction for every day you are late. If you are 3 days late, you can be charged with a crime. If a couple is getting divorced and trying to sell their home or otherwise figure out what they're going to do, and the house takes a little bit longer to sell or remains vacant, they may be charged the tax. If you or a loved one goes into long-term residential care, you will receive a one-time 3-year exemption, at which point the house will be charged the tax. My grandmother was in long-term care for over a decade, and if this law was in place, she would have had to sell her house. If your spouse gets cancer and you move in with relatives to either get more help or be closer to care, you may be charged the tax if both people are on the title and can't prove a medical exemption. The empty home tax does not provide flexibility for all of life's complications. Better solutions exist. I yield my time. To continue on with the more problematic aspects of this ordinance may be changed by 4 members of the city council. And in fact, any part of the law can be changed except the amounts taxed. The penalties can be increased. The number of days required to be at home can be increased. Audit procedures can be made more invasive. Proof of occupancy can be made more vigorous. The types of properties this tax applies to can be expanded. And if this law passes, we fully expect it to be expanded to commercial property as well. Good tax policy is stable, broadly based, simple to administer, and small in amount. The empty homes tax is none of these things. It is incredibly unstable, as it may be changed at any time. It is narrowly focused on a small amount of vacant homes, but requires immense administrative function. It also requires compliance from every homeowner in the city, regardless of their occupancy status or their role in the community. And $6,000 a year is not small. This may be a huge burden on people in complicated living situations or medical predicaments. Just as a note, the empty homes tax originated with the local chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America. These are the same group of activists who supported the flawed rent control measure in 2018. This tax is not so much about affordable housing as it is about political power. You need to look no further than the campaign manager's own words. The empty homes tax is, and I quote, "to build working class power now while working on the long-term project of socialism and ending capitalism." The larger goal here is to undermine homeowners and the freedom that they enjoy in their own homes and to create larger bureaucracy around land use. Santa Cruz has a long history of using very restrictive land use policies. We should not be so anxious to sign up for another. Thank you. So the idea that this is going to raise a significant amount of funding is just simply not supported by reliable data. In the meantime, those of us, if this law passes, will be stuck with invasive reporting of occupancy and audit procedures that are an unreasonable violation of privacy. Homeowners will be subject to civil and criminal penalties for unclear or unstated requirements. This law, if passed, will be cash flow negative for the city. This law does not provide flexibility for complicated situations that happen in life. And frankly, we can do so much better than this. Please endorse no on the empty homes tax. Thank you.